He went to Maryville after he got in trouble with the police, got arrested. It's a residential home for troubled teens, and they have a home that is for children with cognitive delays and other problems as well. We were afraid that he was going to hurt somebody as he got older, but you can't let him see the fear, because that just makes him stronger and more determined that he's going to do something. We were hoping to get him through high school and through graduation before we ever had to have him move to residential. We knew that would eventually happen because there's no way he can, live independently. But he got in trouble with the police.
Last week, I got in a fight with someone. He hit me first, so I hit him back. But I couldn't do something to him, too. And his family, too. Couldn't kill him. I was, but now I'm not. We're friends now.
He just had rages, like 6, 7, 8 a day, sometimes up to 2 hours at a time. And he would kick holes in the wall, put his fist through windows. He didn't care, and he didn't think about, if I put my fist through the window, I could cut my wrist off, or bleed to death or whatever. He didn't think about any of those consequences. Or he would attack somebody else. He doesn't stop to think about he could hurt somebody or something until the rage was over. And then he's very apologetic. He's very remorseful. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. But as he gets bigger and bigger, our house looked like a war zone.
One aspect of regulatory behaviors that children and adolescents with prenatal alcohol exposure have difficulty with is emotional dysregulation. That is, the inability to regulate emotions.
So in the midst of a rage, when Jerry gets to the point where he is so intensely upset, he is not thinking with the part of his brain that would enable him to put brakes on his actions. Those bad brakes are coupled with deficits in the higher regions of his brain, the parts of his brain that are responsible for analyzing the consequences of his behavior and making decisions.
Jerry.
Usually had to be physically restrained somewhere along the line as he got older because he'd just tear up everything.
Think about a pot of water sitting on the stove. Now you turn the heat on under the pot of water, and the water will begin to get warmer and warmer, and finally will reach a simmer. And if you leave the fire on, the water will just boil over. Well, our children and adolescents with prenatal alcohol exposure are that same pot of water, except the fire is always on. They're always at that simmer, and the least kind of stimulation turns the fire up, and the children immediately boil over.
Probably when he was about 14 or 15, we had to call the police for the first time. And at that point, he was afraid of the police because he was afraid he was going to go to jail. But as he got older, he didn't even care about the police coming. Go ahead, call them, see if I care, kind of thing. And you just have to call his bluff.
I got in trouble.
What did you get in trouble about?
For hitting my parents. They called the police on me. They arrested me, took me to jail, 3 days.
They took him to the county jail, but then they moved everybody else out of the pod that he was going to be in because they didn't think he belonged with the general population. They took him into their office to eat dinner with them. They let him out to watch television whenever he wanted. He was only there for a couple of days, but they made sure that he was right there with them. And then they went to the judge themselves and said he does not belong in jail. He needs to be, back in the hospital or whatever. So thank goodness for our good police force. Because if it had been a larger city, he probably would have just gone to jail instead of getting the help that he really needed.